Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, Bud Granley starts 60th Airshow season. British pilots fly around the world in a restored Spitfire. And the EAA offers young people free AirVenture admission with Boeing support. Welcome, I'm Sophie Herlock. The floor of the International Council of Airshows convention is always filled with amazing people, planes, and shows. However, one of the most amazing stories has been a bit of a secret until now. Longtime airshow veteran Bud Granley of Bellevue, Washington, is about to start his 60th airshow season. Granley started out with a military career before eventually transitioning to the airlines and civilian airshows, making him a favorite on the west side of the U.S. and Canada. His performances are legendary, and members of our staff have seen him fly as many as 5 different airplanes in a single show. These days, Granley often flies shows in the company of his son, Ross, a former member of the Canadian Forces Snowbirds. Granley was a longtime friend of Bob Hoover, and even Hoover stated Granley's flying was some of the best he had ever seen. The airshow industry awarded Bud the Art Scholl Showmanship Award in 2005 and the Bill Barber Showmanship Award in 2008. Bud expects his 60th airshow season will begin this June. We'll be right back with Around the Patch.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. Let's take a quick look at some interesting news flying out of the aviation industry. It's time for today's trip around the patch. On Saturday, retired Colonel Charles McGee turned 100 years old. He celebrated the day before with an airplane ride and joked minutes before the flight he hoped the pilot would let him take control of the airplane for just a few minutes, just to get the feel. McGee joined the Tuskegee Airmen at age 22 and went on to command a squadron and fly 409 combat missions during World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. The application period for the Piper Aircraft 2020 apprenticeship program is now open. The 2-year program will begin in July at Piper Aircraft's world headquarters in Vero Beach, Florida. The apprenticeship includes a combination of on-the-job training as well as classroom instruction designed to qualify the participants as a journeyman in aircraft assembly. Each apprentice is a paid employee of Piper Aircraft and receives a full benefits package. Lieutenant Commander Brandon Hemler will become one of a few Blue Angel pilots to serve 4 years on the team when the 2020 season begins. He will fly Blue Angel number 5 lead solo for the 2nd season. Hemler will be filling a slot initially assigned to Lieutenant Commander Andre Webb, the 2019 opposing solo. Webb missed 4 public demonstrations at the end of the 2019 show season. NASA and SpaceX are targeting no earlier than January 4th of 2020 for a critical in-flight abort test of the Crew Dragon spacecraft from Launch Complex 39A at the Kennedy Space Center. As part of the test, SpaceX will configure Crew Dragon to trigger a launch escape shortly after liftoff and demonstrate Crew Dragon's capability to safely separate from the Falcon 9 rocket in the event of an in-flight emergency. The demonstration also will provide valuable data towards NASA certifying SpaceX's crew transportation system for carrying astronauts. We'll be right back with the rest of the news.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Today is a new dawn.
With a new name.
Un nuevo logotipo.
A new factory.
Und einem globalen Kundenfokus.
We are Continental Aerospace Technologies, and we stand behind you.
A pair of British pilots completed the first circumnavigation of the Earth in a restored Spitfire. The journey came to an end on December 5th and took 4 months to complete. The airplane was originally built in 1943 and was followed by a PC-12 chase plane. Pilot Steve Brooks, 58, from Burford, Oxshire, and Matt Jones, 45, from Exeter, Devon, made stops in 100 locations in 30 countries. The flight originated and finished at Goodwood Aerodrome in West Sussex, the base of Bolt B Flight Academy, and the first ever school for Spitfire pilots. Escorted by 2 of the Red Arrows display team, the Silver Spitfire and the PC-12 flew across the English Channel and over the White Cliffs before making it home safely. Young people age 18 and under will be admitted free to EAA AirVenture Oshkosh 2020 as a way to introduce more of the youth to the possibilities in the world of flight. Boeing is paying for this effort for the next 2 years to encourage more aviation-minded families and their children to attend the event, which brings more than 10,000 aircraft from around the world to Oshkosh each year. Along with Boeing's financial support, a small fee on AirVenture advanced purchase adult admissions and value-added opportunities such as the Aviators Club will support this free admission opportunity. This year, the EAA reduced admission costs for students and saw an increased number of families attending AirVenture. Jack Pelton, EAA's CEO and chairman of the board, said EAA's mission is to grow participation in aviation, inspiring young people and giving them a first look at what's possible is only achievable if they can get in the gate. And that was our last story of the day. We appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to click subscribe and to check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. Head over to aero-news.net for the latest aviation and aerospace news any time of the day. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.